everybody, welcome to the handstand pressing little tutorial. I kind of filmed this a little bit wonky, so bear with me. I'm basically just sharing some of my favorite handstand pressing drills and how you can incorporate it into your practice, whether you're going to a public classes or here on our app with us. So the first 10 minutes are kind of breaking apart the handstand drills that I like to do, and you'll do it in things like downward facing dog and forward fold. So then after those 10 minutes, this is kind of where it gets wonky. It kind of segues into, I was like, oh, I should just do a 15-minute circuit with it. So I just kind of added that in. So once you kind of get through the first 10 minutes, know that there's a 15-minute circuit after it. And yeah, once you get familiar with it, you can just kind of buzz past the first 10 minutes and then get it going. I hope you enjoy it. I thought I would do something different. So let me know what you think. And yeah, let's chat soon. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome to this small little clip all about my favorite handstand pressing drills and drills that you can add to pretty much every single yoga flow that goes through a series of Surya Namaskar A's and B's. When I first started pressing or looking for that core integration and that engagement process, I was looking at how I can add these components into these types of classes so that I knew that they were building in time. It's nice to be able to set aside your handstand practice or your core building practice outside of your yoga practice, but let's face it, this kind of adds to a lot of time. You have an hour with the practice and then all these drills to add with it. Why not combine the two? So I'm here to show some of my favorite things that I like to add in practice. If you're already warmed up, feel free to join me. If you want to just do this as viewing pleasure and then add this later on, feel free to do so. You may notice if you're not warm that you may want to warm up prior. But with that being said, we're going to start with one of my favorite, and that is called Uttanasana forward fold leans. This is this idea of really pushing, rounding your hands in through the floor, and we're utilizing the forward fold that happens in every single class. So if we're even starting in the inhale, arms up, and then exhale, hinge, fold forward, we're thinking about this inhale, spine and gaze grows long, and this is where this idea of finding a small amount of extension and then a big cat and flexion of the spine is going to create this power push. All right, so what it looks like is this. Inhale, heart forward. I try to soften. And then big exhale, push the hands away. Rise to the height of the toes. And even here, you may be kind of your heels down closer towards the ground here to start. Really try to lean the weight forward, claw the earth with your fingertips, and peel your heels away as much as you can. As you lower, you'll inhale, heart forward, and then exhale and repeat. Suggested every time you get into a forward fold, just to take one of these Uttanasana forward fold leans. You can also progressively do 3, because most of the time what a teacher is saying is like, exhale, forward fold, go through your vinyasa and meet in downward facing dog. You could always skip the vinyasas and do this core push and do them times 3 and then scootle your way back to downward facing dog. So let's try that here together if you're with me for the warm up. So inhale, arms up, and then exhale, hinge. Have a bend into your knees and connect your thigh towards your chest. Place your hands onto the ground and inhale, arms forward in space. Big exhale, dome and round. Peel the heels away. Hold. Reach your hands through the floor. Feel like you're almost going to somersault. And then we'll just lower the heels. Inhale, heart forward. Take this breath out of your mouth. Push dome and round. Reach your sit bones up. Put your hands through the floor like you're holding up a wall. And then lower. Inhale, heart forward. And then final one. Peel your heels away. Put more weight into both hands. And then just scootle yourself back to a downward facing dog. Lower your knees. And have a second roll through your wrists. So you probably felt that each and every single time you were leaning, you were able to lean, push, and round a little bit more. I want you to think about reaching your hands through the floor and the sit bones oppositionally going up in space. Now, if you start to kind of get more into your practice, we can take a different type of journey with this, and that's from downward facing dog. So with the downward facing dog, oftentimes you'll say, they'll say right leg up and then bring the right foot forward in between your hands. So there's lots of ways we can go about this, and that would be like, I'll bring the left leg up for a visual.
Come back around, keep the foot flexed, come forward, come forward, come forward, come forward, come forward. And then lower the foot, maybe walk it in between your hands. Have a moment of being able to break down these transitions of bringing the foot forward from downward facing dog. We often think so quickly from one posture to another that we're missing the conversation in between. This is where blocks could be very, very helpful. So once I get to downward facing dog, to create a little clearance, I'll bring the left leg up. Maybe I'll step it out wide and get some nice outer hip work. And then I can bring the foot in between my hands. Another option here to create this space is, again, this round forward, push, 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 and maybe working this extension of the leg down. So, as you notice, I worked through my midline and then I also went around my body like this. You can also do that with Uttanasana. So, if you're coming from a downward facing dog and people are jumping forward, you can easily come up height of the toes and walk yourself forward in this regard and then fold. If you're doing an Uttanasana forward fold, there's so many options. They're very, very endless. But we can inhale heart forward, exhale dome and round, plug one leg bone and slide it out and away. Push, 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 and hold. Now that may be something that you can or cannot do depending on the busyness of class. So do note that another option could be keeping the knee down, moving it out towards the side so that we are getting a one leg action push. Those are some variations to play. The next thing I want to talk about is a pyramid plug. Usually you'll find something like this in a Surya Namaskar B, C, or D. And that is just when we're moving from a warrior 2, a warrior 1, a crescent, and you'll hear your teacher say, go through your vinyasa and meet in downward facing dog. Yes, this is your option. So as we're here, you'll grab onto your blocks, and the more you progress in these postures, you will omit the blocks. You can tense fingertips. You can place palms, okay? I highly suggest to use the blocks at first. And then notice my heel of my back foot is over top of my big toe. Inhale, heart forward in space. And then exhale, dome round and plug. It will probably feel like nothing is lifting, and that is probably okay, because it definitely was like that for me. It's not probably okay, that is okay. The more you keep kind of pulling this engagement up. So again, warrior 2. Our option here, take the hands onto the ground, high stance pyramid pose, pull the heart forward. Exhale, push, plug. And then you can release, and you can go through this a few times. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, if you're feeling strong, move. Inhale, exhale, boom, and slide your right leg straightish back to meet your left. So there we have it, high stance pyramid pose. Biggest tendency here is going to be that back heel. That back heel is going to want to go back towards the back of the mat. We want to think of a stiletto foot, basically. So there is our options for that transition. So we have the Uttanasana lean, different types of engagements and pushing and rounding there. We have the pyramid plug going back. We have a little bit of the foot coming forward. And so I do want us to talk a little bit more about that. Another option to be able to create this engagement. Sometimes I think it's overdone, the turbo dogs in yoga, which is, again, going to be something like knee to the tricep and back, knee to the nose and back, knee to the other one and back. And let's do it 4,000 more times. Cool. It's not that it's bad. It's just we could probably do some other things. So if we're looking at creating this engagement in through our hip flexing and this idea of core integration into our core, that's all I want you to think about here from moving here on out is how can I do that? Possibly, if I'm going to take this turbo, I might want to find some extension through the back of the knee. So if the knee comes forward, come forward, maybe you extend, pull back, and extend. Come forward and extend, pull back and extend. Next time you come forward, slide it up more, and then maybe you work more of an extension, pull back, and this. And this is stuff that you can do that's not going to complicate the teacher's class. This is you kind of working in through your own process. And the last one I want to go over, it's not as common. It depends on what kind of studio. But we're talking about a Vashisthasana, step up to the top of the mat. Sometimes I take this option when I know that they are working through a turbo dog, or sometimes if they're just opening up the hip. So three-legged downward facing dog, open up the hip, breathe here for a couple of minutes, and then they'll step the foot up for whatever variation. For me, I'm going to take this option where I'll tent the fingertips and I'll come into a Vashisthasana kind of variation. And then I'm going to work this plugging action, slow step to the top of the mat. Here I have choices. I can put the big toe down, I can put the heel down, I can drive it forward, and eventually coming into whatever the teacher's talking about. These types of things take time, refinement in your practice, and a lot of concentration. So add a couple of them into your practice. I hope this helps. I hope this brings some clarity. Please send me a message if you have any questions here moving on, and enjoy your handstand pressing journey. Handstand pressing, let's get started. We'll take some of these drills that we've learned already and put them into action into a quick little flow. So bring your arms or your feet forward to the top of the mat, Tadasana. Inhale, arms circle sweep up. And then exhale, hinge at the waist. Hands find the blocks or the ground in front of you, halfway lift. And then exhale, gentle fold. Just have a second here of creating this thigh towards the chest. So bend the knees a lot. Place your hands onto the ground, and again, inhale, heart forward in space. Your hands can be any direction, so bring them in far in front of your toes or bring them closer towards your toes. It does not matter. Inhale, heart forward, and then exhale, push down and round and rise your heels away. Keep pressing your hands in through the earth. Lower your heels, inhale, heart forward, and then exhale, push, 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 and lower. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, push, push, push. Flex your left foot towards your kneecap and slide your left foot out and away from self. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower. Lower your heels. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, push the ground away. Flex your right toes towards your kneecap and slice your right foot out and away for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your heels. Inhale, heart forward in space. And then exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Have a second here. Lower your knees and press your heels back and start to send your torso over top. Send your torso gently back, and if you gotta tuck your little guy under, go for it. Run over there and do so. And then just gently kind of go up and down, so the pressure is kind of moving and having to stabilize over your feet. And I'll find your big toe and press your big toe down more through the floor. Take your arms out in front of you and open and close your hands as fast as you can. Take your arms up overhead and open and close your hands as fast as you can. And we're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come down towards the ground. Walk yourself forward back into an Uttanasana. Inhale, heart forward in space. And then big exhale, dome and round. Push and reach your hands through the floor. Find a new part of your hand that you can push through the floor that you maybe are not paying any attention to. And lower. Inhale, heart forward. Big exhale, same as before. Push, dome and round. Reach, claw the earth with your fingertips. And lower. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, push, push, push. Flex your left toes towards your kneecap. And then slide it out and away. Push more through your right hand. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Inhale, heart forward. Big exhale. Push, push, push. Flex your right toes towards your kneecap. And then slice it out and away, 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 away. And gently lower down to the ground. Bring your knees down onto the floor. Tuck your toes yet again. Arms come up in front of you. And here, let's create these little tiny high fives. So only press out through the pointer finger mound. Kind of soften your fingers towards one another and then ecstatic them. Really small movements, but create this like almost happy emoji-like thing. And then press through your big toe mound. Take your arms up overhead. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Now take your arms out to the side. Take your arms back up overhead. And then start to work your arms back behind you. You can open up through the heart space. Widen your arms and keep this excitement going into your pointer finger mound for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down, downward facing dog. Bring your hand on top of blocks. Inhale the right leg up. Come forward, draw the right knee towards the nose. Round. Come forward a little bit more, shoulders over top of wrists. Glide back all the way, three-legged downward facing dog. Come forward, round knee to nose, and then extend your right leg any degree in between your blocks. Drive your toes towards your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse that motion. Glide it all the way back, three-legged dog. 2 more just like this. Work is the same. Knee to nose. Extend. Pulse to your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heel pulls in. Glide it back. Do the best you can with this. Come forward. Round a little bit deeper. Pull the knee in. If it's not fully extended, who cares? You think that it looked like this when I first started? Absolutely not. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower. Whoo-wee. Lower through the knees. Untuck the toes this time. Take your arms behind you. Tense your fingertips. Broaden through your heart space. Prop yourself up. Lift up through your hips. Take a breath. And lower. Come back forward. Downward facing dog. Left leg up. Left knee curls towards the nose. Push, push, push. Glide it all the way up and back. Come forward, round. Carry the thigh with you. Extend the left leg. Pulse it towards your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the heel in. Extend it back behind you. Height of the toes, curl forward, round knee to nose. Extend the left leg. Pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Curl the heel in. Glide it all the way up and back. Final time. Curl forward. Extend. And then back. You can have your hand on a block here if you would like, or not. And place your hand down onto the ground. We'll take the right leg up and curl the right heel open and open up the hip. Tense your right fingertips, come up high on the left toes, and then send your left heel over towards the left, and just a little Vashisthasana, right knee up. Look at your left thumb for stability. We're not worried too much about it. Try to grab your right thigh or something around it, your right knee, something. Pull it in towards your chest, and then just take a pivot and a step to the top of the mat. Cool, let's go back, starting position, into our Vashisthasana. Keep your hand onto your thigh or start to work your thigh towards straight. Maybe you help guide it up. You can start pulling your right toes towards the top of the mat. Maybe the heel comes, maybe the toes come. Maybe you've done this already 1,000 times. And lower. Send it back. Switching sides. So the left knee up, tent the left fingertips. Get this motion, plant the whole sole of the back foot. Try to find your left knee and then pull it in towards your chest. So we're creating this kind of cavity. And you can assist it as it comes to the top of the mat and just step it there. All right, let's explore this a little bit more. Again, this is that option when the teacher's like, yeah, take your knee, open it, bend it, and then bring it up. So you're just kind of pausing a little bit, finding a little confusion, a little bit of traffic, congestion in the body. You're just trying to be with it. And there we are, the top of the mat. Cool. With the left leg up, just rise up, crescent lunge, get off the hands. Take your hands and place them to the sides of your rib cage and just bend the right knee a lot. Squeeze the right glute. Breathe your rib cage into your hands. Great. Hinge the weight forward. So from crescent, this would be like a Surya Namaskar B. Say go through your vinyasa. You'll frame your block, your front foot with your block. Again, biggest tip, high on the ball of the back foot. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, dome and round, slide and plug. Release. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, slide and plug. Even if it's just your intention lifting, right? You have some sort of lightness growing in through your limbs. Inhale, and if you're like, Erin, nothing feels light, I hear you. That is the way it is. Exhale, push, reach. You got this for 3, 2, 1. Slide your left leg back. Fantastic. Right foot will come forward in space, and then we will come up into our crescent. And here, if you would like to take a hold of your blocks, on the long setting, take them out in front of you and start to flick your fingertips towards the ceiling. Squeeze your left glute. We're here for, a little bit. And now go down, up, and then down, and then up. Squeeze your left glute and down. And then we get that cue that's like, go through your vinyasa. And you're like, okay. This is my vinyasa today. Inhale, heart forward. And then exhale, plug. Release. Inhale, heart forward. The flexing of the foot is pretty helpful because it kind of recruits the quad to do something. And lower. Final one. And then hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide your right leg back. Lower your shin bones. Slide back behind you. Tense your fingertips, open up through your heart, lengthen your tailbone. And lower. All right, excellent. The last and final little thing that we can do for a fun handstand jumping drill. I'm going to take these fake peonies from my Airbnb, and I'm going to stick it into my hip. You can basically take anything that's around you. I'd probably shoot for something light. If you have a foam block, that might be helpful. Sometimes a water bottle, a t-shirt, something with a little substance. We're going to keep it at our hip crease, and then we'll lower down towards the ground. And all we're going to do is think about keeping this connection. Lower your right knee down. Hold your peonies in place. Give it a squeeze. So this knee is going to drive towards your chest, and it's going to stay there. And this back foot right here is going to kick up towards the sky. So this is like a primal squat kick. We'll do 2 on one side and 2 on the other, and we'll wrap it up from here. Inhale, heart forward. Soften something, and then exhale. Lower. You may notice that your left knee wants to run away from self. Try to minimize that so that we can control our ribcage and pelvis here for now. So inhale, heart forward. Exhale, and down. We switch. So before we go to the right side, I know that I had said these are applying to the yoga practice, which they are. So when your teacher's like, go through your vinyasa and you're in some sort of warrior, all you're going to do is go from a warrior 2 down to the mat, go through your vinyasa, little primal. Maybe people will look at you, who knows. Hands plants, kick it up, and maybe you can get 2 in, right? Kick it up, remove your thing, pop back, and do it if you want to do the thing. So those are that. Hope you enjoyed this fun little bit. If you are with me, we'll close it out super, super quickly. Take your hands, put them in between your shin bone and your thigh, and just open and close your hands a few times. Lift up, sit down. We can create longer classes just like this. This is just a fun little breeze by. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you all soon.